time you dance for joy or lust.
So welcome to yet another Sensible Secondhand Reviews episode. This is the series where we find cars for between £1,000 and £5,000 that you can buy with confidence and have a lot of fun doing so. So today we're in Essex. Paul, who very kindly about 6 weeks ago allowed us to film his beautiful 2005 MG ZS180, has very kindly offered the use of his 2009 Skoda Superb 2-litre TDI Elegance with a DSG gearbox. This car cost him under £5,000 less than a year ago, and so it's completely suitable for this review series. Yes, it is a diesel, and you know, that's just the way that it goes. These cars are quite hard to find in petrol form. The basic engine in a Superb, when it was launched, well, a second generation one anyway, which was launched in 2008, was a 1.4 litre twin charger engine with 125 horsepower. Then there was a 1.8 TFSI engine that had 160 horsepower. There was also a 2 litre with about 197 horsepower, but that wasn't sold in this country from what I understand. The diesels are a lot more common. The basic one when this car was launched in 2008 was a 1.9 litre version of that famous TDI PD unit, and that had 105 horsepower. Later in about 2011, that was replaced with a 1.6 engine, which was with the Green Line technology, same power up, but 105 horsepower. Then there were two other diesel engines. There was a 140 horsepower version of this engine, it's a 2 litre, and there was a 168 horsepower version of the engine, which is the one we've got today. There was also a 3.6 litre V6 with a DSG gearbox and four-wheel drive that had 260 horsepower. That was actually a petrol. I would love to try one of those, but unfortunately they're pretty rare. So yes, we have talked about the diesels on this channel for once, and I make no apologies for that whatsoever. We've talked about Skoda Fabia diesels and BMW 530 diesels and all that kind of stuff. Obviously my preference would be to try a V6, but that's the way it goes sometimes, I'm afraid. So the trim levels available in one of these Mark II Superbs were S, SE, Elegance, like this one, Laurent and Clement. This has a Laurent and Clement badge on the back, although it's not actually a Laurent and Clement edition. And then there were special editions. We'll cover those in a little bit. The platform underneath this car is actually the B6 version of Volkswagen Passat, and you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The 2-litre diesel in the Passat was well known for having a lot of problems. Actually, it's not the same as this engine, it's slightly different. So the problems I think we have with the turbos don't affect this car. Obviously, if you're going to do very high mileage in your Superb, and this one's done over 120,000 miles, so it doesn't really feel like it at all. You obviously make sure you change the cam belt in the engine. It is a cam belt engine. Make sure that you use good quality oil and service it regularly, and it shouldn't give you too many problems. One of the things we'll look at later is something that Paul is experiencing right now, because he's in the back, and it's probably one of the only cars I can say that you socially distance very successfully in it, because there's so much room. There's more room in the back of one of these than something like an S-Class or a BMW 7 Series. It's absolutely remarkable. The only thing I would say, it is a hatchback, but there's no rear wiper at all, so it's more saloon-like in that way, and later on we'll look at the way in which you can make this car from a saloon to a hatchback in a couple of seconds, which is what I find most interesting anyway. Right, we've finally found somewhere that's not completely flooded to have a look around the car. You can see with this just how big this car is. I mean, it was about the same price as a low-end Volkswagen Passat, and the basis of this car is a B6 Passat, but it's really about the same size as a BMW 7 Series. You've got things like this little superb graphic in the headlamps. This is the Elegance trim, although it's got one or two extras on it as well. We believe this car was maybe a dealer demonstrator car or something. Paul's got his private plate on it. It is actually a 2009, but it's a very early 2009, so it would have come on a 58 plate originally. You can see at the back, we'll just show you the sort of party trick this car has. So, and it's got a Laurence and Clement badge on it. We don't know why, because it's an Elegance on Laurence and Clement, but that's the normal one for opening the boot like on a normal saloon. So, you know, from the side profile, it looks a bit like a, you know, a big Audi or something like that. But if we actually use the right-hand one, it actually does tell you how to do it as well. So I close that, and then I operate this right-hand one here. Oh, there you go. Hatchback opens. Isn't that clever? This is one of my favourite things about this car. I know it's a bit gimmicky, but having had a Mark IV Seat Toledo that everybody thought was a saloon and it was a big hatchback like this, I really like the fact that you can do both. The space in here is absolutely class leading. Whichever way you look at it, it is 565 litres. It's one of the biggest boots of any car of this time, but it isn't an estate, and the estate was even larger, 633 litres. You've got a movable height boot floor for putting odds and ends in. You've got little storage compartments at the side. You've got these incredibly cleverly designed luggage hooks as well. Obviously, if you wanted even more practical space, you could get the estate, but I personally wouldn't even bother. I'm not sure you actually need it. You can fold that up like so, to get that out of the way, and there's a place to actually store the warning triangle as well. I just can't believe how many little things this car has. You've got a side compartment here for first aid kit, whatever you want to put in there, and there is a 12-volt socket in here as well. Loads of tie-down points. The boot is so large, it's actually got 2 boot lights, which is extraordinary. One thing I would say is that it is quite a large opening. I really would recommend, if you're going to buy one of these Superbs, that you need to get rear parking sensors on it, at least, preferably front ones, or a camera or something as well. And if you look at this, you do have front sensors on this particular car too. The Superb actually is well known for the space in the back, and I don't think we're ever going to find a car on Sensible Secondhand Reviews that has more space than this. Look at how much room. This is more than a Mercedes S-Class long wheelbase. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. I mean, I really need like a fridge or something in here. We do have individual heated 3-stage seats and a 12-volt socket too. It's just luxury, luxury, luxury at a very affordable price. Pull this down as well. Big substantial armrest with a ski hatch, because it's actually a hatchback, this car. But it's just a hatchback that goes into saloon mode. Big through load opening. It just reminds me so much, this car, of a larger version of my Mark IV Seat Toledo. We've got cup holders that come out like that. Very, very, very elegantly designed. A bit like an Audi really, or something like that, but just a lot less money. LED lights in here. LED lights in the floor, all sorts of things. Of course, we've got blinds that come up as well, more luxury features, but I need to show you as well because it's compulsory on review of a Superb. In this left-hand rear door, this is an official Skoda Superb umbrella. The car didn't actually come with it. Paul actually had to buy this, and I think they're a little bit more expensive than you'd imagine. But this is a genuine one, and it fits just in there. Ironically, I've had to bring my own one because I don't want to get that wet. Oh, something else I actually just noticed. Got rear compartment vents as well, and little hooks. Even if you're on the front and you're the chauffeur, because with a car like this, you're going to be wanting to sort of start your own luxury car hire firm. So much in the way of equipment and comfort and everything. Of course, heated electric leather seats. Massive glove box. I'll go and get the secret version documents in a second for that. This one's an automatic. You can get a manual, of course, for this particular engine. And just lots and lots and lots of things to play with. Just superb. Everything feels really solid. Not necessarily the softest touch plastic, but then this car costs about the same as a sort of lower trim Passat of the same era, so you can't really complain, can you? Interestingly, there's a door locking controls are either side in this car. Right, let's get the secret mission documents and see if we can fit them in. Okay, here we go. If it doesn't fit in here, I'd be a bit concerned, really. Yes, of course it fits. Of course it fits. Why did I have any doubts? There are actually puddle lights in here as well. I don't know if we can get them to go on, but I'll just show that they're there. Very, very easy to get in. These doors are huge. And, oh, that's comfortable. That's really nice. I'll just shut the door because it's a bit cold and windy out there. It's done 128,000 miles. Paul did pay under £5,000 for this car, which, because it's an early one, I suppose that's about right, but I think that's not too bad at all, really. So, for a car that's, yes, it's a bit cold out here, it's 3.5 degrees. For a car that's from 2009, we've actually got a very, very nice audio system in here. We've got sat nav, we've got Bluetooth. The only thing I can't see, and I've heard somebody else mention this, we've got, you know, all sorts of stowage compartments and clever things in here. Got an aux input there. You have to pay extra for a USB input. That's utterly ridiculous. So you've got this lovely Columbus MP3 compatible sat-nav system. And yet, we've got no USB ports. We've got, I'll just turn the lights on here, I think that'll show. Yes, there we go. Got things like 3-stage heated seats and all sorts of lovely things like that. And dual zone climate control and, you know, etc, etc, etc. But we haven't got a USB port, which is really, really strange. I've got lots and lots of functions to sort of play with on the steering wheel as well. Sort of play with things like that and, you know, go back to the menu. Tyre pressure monitoring and all kinds of things, and automatic parking function, which I don't think I'll be able to actually show that because I'd have to actually be sitting next to Paul and filming him if we did that, so we better not do that. But yeah, automatic parking, that works just fine. Automatic lights, of course, automatic lights, automatic wipers, got paddle shifters for the DSG automatic gearbox. Amazing, you've got a conventional handbrake in here. Well, a lot of the B6 Passats didn't come with one of those. But yeah, extraordinary. I think we've even got a hard disk drive in this media system. So much luxury for so little money. Wonderful. Now, of course, I would like to have the 3.6 litre V6 if I had one of these cars, but most of them you'll find on the second-hand market will have a diesel engine. This is the 2-litre TDI engine. This was the one that was a little bit controversial back in 2015, but we won't go into that. And in this particular car, it develops 168 horsepower through the DSG automatic gearbox. Obviously, got to make sure with these engines that you use the correct oil for them, make sure you service them correctly, and change the cam belt in them. But apart from perhaps giving you incorrect emissions and economy figures from standard, they're actually very, very good engines. They're very, very reliable, and this car does not feel like it's done the sort of mileage it has, which is about 130,000. It doesn't feel like that at all, which is excellent. Right, time to go for another drive. You can see, viewers, today where we are in Essex, the weather is quite bad. There's actually been some snow on the ground today. The car feels, though, very, very, very composed. The steering weights up quite nicely when you're going along. To make sure we go relatively slowly through this with the standing water that's around. The engine's just completely relentless. There's no hesitation at all in producing all that torque from this diesel engine. The ride is not quite as sort of wafty as it would be on a car with air suspension like an S-Class or maybe an Audi A8, but it's pretty comfortable unless you're doing that. Yes, I'm very, very impressed with the level of silence, the level of quality that you can feel just for everything you touch and everything that you use. And I think, you know, for something like a private hire firm of chauffeurs rather than taxis, this car would be absolutely ideal. The only thing is, it is quite a large car, and driving around these little country roads, it does actually sort of feel quite big.
Une heure plus tard.
Interesting, viewers, we came to an enormous flood, which we managed to successfully negotiate, and now we're on a road that's a little bit less sort of flooded, which is nice. Someone's very kindly going to let us through. Thank you very much. Possibly not the most natural habitat for a Skoda Superb, but nevertheless it's coped very well. It's again just so comfortable and smooth, and built to this really quite high standard, and I really like that. So we just get through this and we just feel all that torque. Just feel all that torque. And on a motorway, I'm sure this car would really come into its element. And Paul's just been telling me about trips he's been doing in this car up to Yorkshire, and it's probably not much better than this actually to do it in. So, time to look at some special editions that were available on the Mark II Skoda Superb. Now, the car actually had a lot of safety equipment. It had 7 airbags as standard, and 2 more optional airbags, bringing a total to 9. The standard ones were SSE Elegance, like this one. Laurence and Clement. We've got a Laurence and Clement badge on the back of the car, but this isn't a Laurence and Clement. The green line, that was only available with a 1.6 litre diesel engine. There were a couple of special editions, which are the Black Edition, SE Business and SE Plus. Not as many as normally we would probably cover on this series. But viewers, should you buy a Mark II Skoda Superb for under £5,000? Well, yes, frankly. This is not a perfect car. there are some things that you need to be aware of, and maybe you won't get the economy and emissions that you were promised back in the day in these, but does that matter so much? I don't think so, particularly when you're buying a car of this age. And it's likely to cost a lot less to run than something like an S-Class or a 7 Series. And you can get power plants with the sort of power that you'd expect from one of those as well. You can get it with 4-wheel drive if you want. So yes, I thoroughly recommend this car. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Paul's got a great example. He uses it every day. And, it's in fantastic condition. So, thank you ever so much indeed for watching this episode of Sensible Secondhand Reviews. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more of the same. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment below. Got a Facebook page, facebook.com/Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. And also Instagram, instagram.com/Lloyd_Vehicle_Consulting. Thank you.